And welcome to Mom Coach Biz 101, where I'm going to show you how I have been making full-time income as a mom coach and only working part-time hours. And I can talk about this stuff until the cows come home. And I know this because I went for a beer with a friend yesterday who's also online digital marketer, and we just had lots to gab about. So if you're into the idea of working from home as a coach and doing most of it online and not working the traditional 40 hours a week, it's totally possible. And I'm going to show you how today. So I'm going to pull up my slides because, again, I can get a little chatty. So to keep me on track, and let me share this with you first, and we'll do this in presentation mode. So here we go. Mom Coach Biz. Boop, boop, boop. Let me put this in presentation mode. There we go. Present. What a present to be able to present this. That went pretty smooth. And welcome. This is me. And let's dive right in because we have a lot to cover. So let's make sure we don't get distracted. I put my own phone on silent, and I just told my not so little munchkin, my 14-year-old, he just came in here. I'm like, okay, Mama's doing her presentation now. So give me an hour or so. And yeah, let's just gift ourselves this present moment with this presentation and learn some stuff together. Okay, so again, I'm Kathy Stoll, and I have been passionate about coaching moms since I became a mom myself, basically. So what I mean by that, I've been passionate first with coaching myself to what I called at the time, and I still do, Mama Bliss, just really prioritizing my self-care, making sure I have lots of creative expression in my day-to-day and keeping things simple. I just noticed that when things are kept simple, things are kept blissful. So a little bit about my background. 25 years of experience in sales and marketing. So what that means is that I have been working in advertising and marketing since I finished university way back in the day. I spent 5 years in a advertising and marketing, two different advertising marketing firms, and I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I love the fact that I followed my bliss, and I loved writing. I loved being creative, and I just loved helping people get the word out. So I did that right after university again for 5 years, and we decided to move out to the boonies to start a hobby farm because that's what me and my husband discussed on our first date. And yeah, we were in the middle of nowhere, but the center of everything, as the locals say. So it was so fun and so rewarding. And again, it spoke to my soul's yearning for simplicity and just like quieting, slowing things down. And it also awoke in me not only my entrepreneurial spirit, because there really wasn't much in terms of employment opportunities. And already by that time, I knew that I was leaving my corporate job at the time. And I was actually selling handmade soap and teaching yoga full time. And one piece of entrepreneurial bliss out in the boonies led to the other. I was making all of my own clothes, selling that on Etsy. And that led to creating e-courses on how to sew. But I kept following the bliss, and I was loving connecting with like-minded moms through blogging and keeping them up to speed on what my crafty adventures were, our homesteading endeavors. And I was kept feeling I'm getting closer and closer to what I feel my purpose, if you will, is. So what happened was that, especially after I made that e-course on how to sew, seeing the faces of these women who took the time finally to make themselves, I called it Backwoods Mama Sew Camp, these outfits that I designed and made patterns for. I had the e-course set up as a passive income, so everything was pre-recorded. But what was really rewarding was seeing their faces, sharing the photos of themselves, just so full of pride and like almost like they had a mini breakthrough. They took time for themselves to follow their yearnings, their excitement to make something from nothing, to follow that nudge, to take time just for themselves. The kids will be fine. It's time for mom to do something that fills up her bliss. So that was like, ding, 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 ding. I want to coach moms. So I started looking into different training and certification programs. And I ended up just kind of piecing together things that make sense. It was really hard for me to articulate at the time what kind of coaching I wanted to do. But when I landed on how do I answer the questions that my clients, my followers at the time kept asking me, and it was, how are you so prolific? How is it that you're homeschooling, homesteading, and blogging about it and selling stuff on Etsy all the time? And it came back once I meditated on these 4 basic principles. And again, this was, this teenager was just a munchkin 14 years ago, 12, 14 years ago. And I kept responding with, oh, these 4 pillars: self-care, simplicity, making sure I prioritize creative play, and also be really clear on what my values are. And that wasn't hard for me to tap into because I simply looked at my blog at the time and I was like, oh, this is the sort of stuff that I deemed important enough to really riff off of. So it just kind of kept going back to what I upheld in our home, what I celebrated when I shared with the online space. And I started coaching moms to lean on these 4 pillars. I basically came up with my coaching approach, and I simply acquired some coaching tools and skill sets from taking these programs. And I started coaching moms, and lo and behold, a lot of their dreams were nudging them to starting a similar coaching offer. So that is when I opened up my coaching training program. The earlier rendition was called Mama Bliss Coaching School. It's now called Mom Coach School, and that's what I'm going to share a little bit more at the end of this workshop. But it has had over 100 moms move through it and just take off on their own trajectories of supporting others with these newfound skills, blended also with everything they already bring to the table. But it was just a great opportunity for them to get something that offered them that little edge of confidence to move forward with this calling. So on a personal level, again, I did marry that guy that I was on a date with, and I didn't scare him off with that date number 2. I want to have kids and live out in the country speech. And so we have an 18-year-old now, a 14-year-old, and we have 2 wiener dogs. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see lots of pictures of me posing with them. They are my shadow. And lately I became heavily obsessed with pickleball. So I have been coaching moms now for, again, about 12 years, and been a business coach for probably the last 8. And forever, I've used the analogy and metaphor of birthing your dream business. I am your midwife for your dream coaching biz. Everything is just like giving birth, but now everything is just like pickleball. Brace yourself for a lot of pickleball analogies, but let's move forward. So you're here at the right place. You just are very much on that cusp of deciding, is this the year or the time that I'm going to go for it? I'm going to do what I have to do to get confident enough to be like, hey, I want to coach, or I want to offer coaching as a side kind of supplement to what I'm currently doing. So maybe you are a virtual assistant and you notice that your clients get a lot of indecision, they're overwhelmed quite easily, and you would love to just have some coaching skills to offer that as part of your services, or you just don't know what to make of this real strong urge because you're feeling like it sounds like being a coach, let alone getting certified to become one, is going to take a huge chunk of my time, and I don't have any time to spare. I get it. It feels like life gets very full, but maybe you're really curious. It's like, really, how can you make income, full-time income, with part-time hours? We're going to show you. Maybe you already are on that research and development path and you've been Googling like crazy what it takes. And also maybe, yeah, you're just super curious and you don't see how this is possible without burning your candle at both ends. And you're very curious to see what I have to share about how I do it. So believe it or not, I've been there too. You can see a picture here. We had my dear milk cow, Miss Daisy, the freshest lattes in town. But yeah, when Kale, you can see my munchkins there, the 14-year-old now, who got a haircut yesterday with, makes his hair about 6 inches taller. So I feel like he really hit a growth spurt yesterday. Since he was a baby, and there's pictures of me on my laptop with him and his boppy and me working away blissfully. I love what I do so much. I will never stop. But a lot of what makes me not want to stop is my why. What makes me cry and what makes me sigh? What makes me cry is moms not going for their dreams and putting their needs last. So I have been committed to my general niche again for 14 years. And now my more specific niche statement today is I help moms who are struggling with starting and growing their coaching business so they can make money from home. Making money is fun. Having a business to me is the most fulfilling thing possible. So no matter how busy life gets, because I've been there, again, like I was saying, people were scratching their heads. You have a full plate. But they also noticed I was never seeming like I was stretched thin because I wasn't. Having my business replenished me. It filled up my bliss bucket. But again, it is that fine line of making sure that you set it up in a way that's not depleting. So this is where the 4 pillars that I originally came up with, more or less, when I was coaching moms to find that calm center. I coach my coaches to get grounded and make sure that they have a lot of time in their schedule to take care of their needs too. So I decided again to lean on what I know that works, those 4 pillars. And so that came up with the foundation of what I called Mama Bliss. Wink. Oh, my hat. So again, it is really rested on my approach that leans on the 4 pillars of self-care, simplicity, and creativity. And remembering to go back to this, it's how I put that almost like I recharge the batteries of my business. So what I'm going to share with you today is a built-in internal coach for yourself. So you show up in a way that you feel not only energized and confident, but you're continuously coaching yourself because these 4 pillars play amongst each other. And also my core business philosophy leans on keeping it simple by committing yourself to one niche. One niche And I have made other presentations all around niching. I don't want you to feel like tightened up about that concept. It is more, it's more fluid than I want you to think. So how about we do the same thing for you? Create a business that is, again, very fluid. It doesn't feel like you're constrained either with, the scope of what you call yourself, but practically not constrained with, ooh, you got these rigid hours. And not only that, ooh, you got these rigid giant list of things you need to do every day. I have a way to grow your business, even if you only have 1 hour a day, which is way less than your typical part-time job. So let's begin with like wrapping our minds around what the heck does that mean? And what is this voodoo magic that is playing with concept of time and what you can get accomplished? So first of all, speaking of time, let's just lay it out why I believe now is a perfect time for anyone to start a coaching business, especially as a mom. So the first why is that there is an increased demand. Partially because the COVID thing, everybody was at home, all our kids were homeschooled in some capacity over virtually, right? So a lot more people are aware of what Zoom even is. I've been using Zoom for a very, very long time. But when I suggested to my friends, like before the pandemic, hey, you want to just do a quick Zoom call? They had no idea what I was talking about. And funny enough, I think I already mentioned, I went for a beer with that online friend of mine yesterday, and she told me she got in on Zoom as a investor. So she got some shares in Zoom before the pandemic. So I thought that was very smart of her. So there's increased demand, and now because people are more open to the idea of finding the perfect coach for them, and also being like, they could be anywhere on the planet, right? I remember back in the day, like most couples, my husband and I, he's my soulmate, things are going awesome, but we've been married for 21 years. So I remember back in the day just needing some marriage counseling type help. And this is before internet was readily available. And it was like slim pickings, like small town, everybody knows everyone. So this is kind of like awkward. But now you can have that online. That's just an example. But there's increased demand because people are more comfortable with the idea of making that one-on-one connection with someone they haven't met in flesh in the past. So technology is our friend here. And there's low overhead. So everything you need to start a coaching biz essentially falls in the realm of shopping list, laptop, internet, everything else you can get creative. And once you start creating an income, then you can kind of get a little bit more sophisticated or swankier. But for the most part, you can absolutely start creating clients, even if you only have a social media account. You don't need a website. We'll get into that in a second, but you can build as you grow. So again, just kind of riding still with that concept of the world's our oyster thanks to technology. So again, the key to making the most of your time is being really clear on how and who you help. So sometimes getting clear is getting very specific. And I don't want you to fret that being too specific is going to, again, restrict you in finding ideal clients. So love the internet's ability to offer you the opportunity to use keywords, speak to your ideal clients, find them easily, and get in front of them, no matter how niche you decide to get. And then finally, moms, right? So the whole creative pillar for me stems from the therapeutic aspects of creativity from when I was going for some body work, even before I became a mom. So I know the health benefits of exercising those creative muscles every day. And I just love that now technology allows us to really express ourselves in creative ways when it comes to our marketing. So I'm thinking specifically reels. I just got into Instagram more in the last couple of years. And if I can start my day off with making a reel, it's a good day. It's just, it speaks to the little Kathy Sita when my parents would have friends over for dinner and I put on like a little play. Like it, for me, I love performing. And I get to do that too with presentations like this, my podcast. But you don't have to be like this if that's not in your personality. You get to again express yourself in a way that's unique to you. Maybe you like to write. By all means, you can express yourself with a blog, the written word. And I wrote here, even I just, it has that kind of scary component of, where is this leading us to? But right now, in this present moment, it's offering us an extra tool to have fun with technology and explore, okay, what is the pro to this? And all I know, all of this adds up to now it's so simple to start a business online, specifically a coaching business. The increased demand bit, I also want to state that even though we have this ability to connect with others all over the world, there still is that thirst for that one-on-one connection, that hunger for, for us, especially women, to find that shoulder to cry on, that person to lean on who gets us, who we get to look forward to connecting with on a weekly basis to help us reach our goals. So now is a perfect time to start. Now, number 2, get your head wrapped around, okay, now is a good time to start. There's no stopping me, but now I have to sell myself on what makes me a perfect contender to be a coach. So look at what led you up to this point and take assessment of your life journey and how it's prepared you for this crossroads. If you want to go for becoming a coach, I betcha you have a lot to offer already. Look at your education, your trainings, but if it's overwhelming, then break this down into chunks. And I love doing the 7-year chunk route. Your first 7 years of life, what were you like and into as a little kid? In your ages 7 to 14, what were some extracurricular activities, So that, again, going back to Kathy Sita, I love putting on plays. I was such a drama queen, right? 14 to 21, what were you into in high school? What did you take in university? What were your volunteer positions? What have you overcome even? What have you accomplished? So just take a little check-in and everything you've gone through, even like I waitress all through my university years. I picked up a lot of coaching skills in that experience. Mothering, being a mom, that's boot camp for being a coach, right? Your secret sauce too, it's how you show up. Everyone has a sense of humor. Is it goofy? Is it dry? What your, just your essence, how you think your friends would describe you. Again, this is related to your 7-year chunks, what makes you a little bit of an expert. And finally, I encourage you to check out your values. And there's lots of value tests online. And I want you to consider how you can marry like what you are currently prioritizing in your life, right? Values are like, what are they like? They are like your niche, basically. For some reason, I keep getting running shoes pop up in my head. They're like, going back to school. I just did a series on Instagram on going back to school for your mom coaching biz. Perhaps this is how you found this training, but shoes. We wanted to get new runners for your coaching biz, and it is related to your self-care. But also I was just thinking how, how kids outgrow their shoes. We outgrow too, not outgrow, but our values are often brought to tension with what we've overcome. So see if just related to this endeavor of becoming a coach, what your values are currently that line up with that, and see if that offers you a hint on what can make you stand out as a coach. And finally, we need to coach ourselves. So I have this tool, and it's kind of a newer one that I offer, and it's called Intake Form Yourself. So when you work with a coach, and they quite often have you fill out an intake form so you can like make the most of your time together, and they can get a little bit more of a backstory. But just the exercise of filling out an intake form can reveal so much of what your dreams and aspirations are, what your goals are. So I wrote here, check out an intake form for a coach. So if you want for funsies, go check out any coach or check out mine. If you head to Bliss Beyond Nap Time, work with me or .com/application, you can see the application to work with me. You can fill that out. Don't have to submit it to me, but if you can imagine that you're filling out a similar application to work with yourself and be like, okay, if I was to work with me as a coach, let's divulge what my aspirations are. How much do I want to be making a month? What is my background? Where do I see myself a year from now, 5 years from now? So just imagine that you're applying to work with a business coach, and you can see in black and white, you can ask yourself questions. What do you think might be holding you back? And looking at all those skill sets you already bring to the table, what would you say to someone in terms of like holding them back, or what you would offer them advice in terms of going for it? So that's a fun tool. Your daydream machine. I love this. So you can do this in a couple of ways. This is just a way to simply just release reality and just think audacious about where this can take you to in terms of your dream life. So you can get very kind of beautiful and zen with it, take a day off, go for a swim in the lake, come out and then meditate, or just simply wake up, cuddle with your puppy like I do, and just slack jaw, think about, what would be ideal day, and then allow that to break that down and see how you're already living your dream life, and B, how can you move a little bit closer to that today? And finally, so by the way, you got with your registration for this a workbook. So there's some space here for you, some space there for you to remind yourself which one of these coaching tools you're going to do today. My favorite coaching tool I teach inside Mom Coach School is three quick cues. And whenever you're feeling stuck, is ask yourself, okay, let's celebrate something. What is working here? Let's just take a quick moment to assess what is going well and celebrate that. Okay, now let's get clear on what do we feel the struggle is. And number 3, leaning on what has worked in the past to move you through a similar struggle. So this can get very macro and micro. When I meant by that, when I think, even for my own self, when I feel stuck in my business, I can go way back to when I first started coaching moms, and I've already shared this, is I go back to the 4 pillars that work for me when I was giving advice to my followers when they're saying, how do you do all that you do? How are you able to accomplish all this? I get out in nature and I up my self-care. I make sure I go to bed a bit earlier, right? I get clear on my values. So I do some kind of creative expression. And for me, that's marketing. I give to my ideal niche. So this is another reason you don't want to get too precious when it comes to, okay, I'm going to coach. I'm going to call myself a mom coach, a health coach, a time management coach. Call yourself whatever you will, but I encourage you to get really clear on your niche statement, and you'll notice that that will grow with you, and you totally have permission to course correct as you go. Okay, so part 2. So you want to work part-time hours, but make a full-time income. So it's the time thing. We don't want to waste time. When we decide on the hours we're going to work, again, part-time hours, I'm talking at the max 20 hours a week. Totally doable. I got a story about this. But we need to stop wasting time on things that don't matter if we want to do this part-time. Number 1 is directing your energy to endeavors that aren't going to get the wheels, like the traction going in your business, such as hiring an expert to help you with branding, website, a sexy funnel. And I just worry with my clients who share this is going to be holding them back. It's going to be leaking money instead of putting a plan in place and taking action on a place to be getting paying clients sooner than later. So don't feel that you need to spend money on these sorts of expenditures when really you can do this again just with a social media account in lieu of a website. Start a really affordable email service provider such as MailChimp or MailerLite. And if anything, invest in an online scheduler. Even that isn't necessary, but that could be a nice little triage. But tech-wise, this is basically all you need to begin with. Number 2 is just overthinking every little decision. And I am an overthinker as well. What was a huge breakthrough moment for me was learning about human design. I actually decided to get certified so I can offer this to my clients as well. But you don't need to know your chart inside out. All that it brought to my awareness is, in general, we, like as a human collective, we can get really stuck in our heads. My human design was just knowing that I have a sacral authority. I should be trusting my gut more, my gut reaction. So it has been fun. So what I learned about that is to just not think so much. Just, you need to begin with thinking, obviously. So when I work with my clients, we start off again, always going back to the niche statement. Let's look at what you bring to the table and what makes sense in terms of this is how I can help people. Let's get that down in black and white. And then I say, put it behind the screen, meaning on the other side of your laptop screen to remind you. When you start like overthinking, okay, wait, look at that piece of paper. I help. Who do you help? Struggling with what? What struggle are you an expert in so that they can, and what results do you get your clients? Okay, listen to your gut. What is your gut saying would be helpful? So go with is like yes or not so much. Let's think about this. We already thought about it. What is your gut guiding to you next? Make a decision, own it, and just keep moving forward. So don't waste time overthinking it. Take action. My favorite mantra here is success loves speed. Success loves speed. I learned that from mountain biking before I met my husband. My ex-boyfriend was a mountain biker. And that's when I would wipe out, when I would be like, hesitating. That is when you lose momentum and fall over. So just trust, those little like micro adjustments that your muscle makes. It knows what to do. Trust your gut. You know what to do. All right. And it goes back to not owning a niche statement. So this could be not controversial, but you have the camps. You don't need a niche. You need a couple of niches. You need a niche statement and you need a public niche, more than a public niche. Your public niche, again, call yourself many things. I call myself many things. I call myself a business coach, a mentor for coaches. I am a human design expert. I am a e-course creator. I am a digital marketer. So you can call yourself a bunch of different type of coaches but your niche statement, keep it private and close to your heart, but it becomes public as you implement your marketing plan. So own a niche statement. It's going to save you a lot of time. This goes back to, this is how we do it part-time. You become an expert with that struggle you choose, and you don't overthink it. You just show up every day, be helpful, and implement your 4x1. This is what makes it possible for you to make at least, starting off, $1,500 a month. I'm going to show you exactly how in a sec. So all of those 3 time wasters are all fear-based. Again, it's worrying that I'm not good enough to get my clients these results. I don't know how to coach. I don't know how this is all going to work out. Something really bad is going to happen if this doesn't work. And then the flip side of that common fear, something really bad is going to happen if it does work. Dun, dun, dun. My favorite self-help book is called The Big Leap, and it blew my mind. Everything on my becoming, and again, just like Michelle Obama, I'm still becoming a coach, blows my mind. This is a personal development boot camp. So many side awesome benefits of this entrepreneurial path. But The Big Leap is my favorite because it speaks to this, like the fears about success, about, how we just instinctively squelch our happiness because we deem ourselves A, we don't deserve this level of happiness, or B, something bad is going to happen if we break through this level. Okay, you are good enough. You have the skills that, okay, first of all, we already went through what you currently bring to the table. All that's needed now is marrying this with the struggle that you feel especially called to help people through. Now you just need to fill in the gaps. And again, this has been something I've been doing for 14 years, essentially. And I'm consistently being like, whoa, that experience gave me a breakthrough, or seeing this person presented in this way blew my mind. I want to learn more. It's always adding things to your coaching toolbox. It's consistently adding. It's an ongoing thing. So you are good enough. You are, like all of us, no matter how mega successful coach you become, are work in progress. So this trick here is to keep your business simple. The result, your coaching gets your clients really tangible, meaning it gets them more money, it gets them better health, it gets them stronger relationships with themselves or with others. And your willingness to go all in and feel those feelings. These feelings, let's go back one slide, they're going to come back over and over again. But a perk, again, of being a coach, you get to coach yourself back. And if you don't give up, success is inevitable. Keep it simple and go all in. So here is the meat of our mom coaching business stew. I don't know where these analogies come from, you guys. I need more college in my diet. I think that's why they came up. Here's how to make money working part-time as a coach, all laid out. You decide you're going to do this. It's decision-making time. Use your brain and then use your gut. First, use your brain by, I'm not going to bring up my husband. He's mowing the lawn right now. It's driving me a little cuckoo, but he's the engineer in the family. So very mathematical. I'm more like, I'm following my sacral, right? But use your Craig in your head, my husband, and just look black and white. Let's do the math. What is available for your hours? Quickly speaking about my husband too. For years, his office is just down the hall from mine. He would stick. He went on this weird kick for a while. He's like, how many hours are you working? It feels like you're working a lot of hours. And I kept saying, I'm working 20 hours a week, dude. And he's like, how do you know? I'm like, I don't know. It just feels like it. So for funsies, I use Toggle, a time tracker. And I was very detailed on what I was doing with my time. And I did it for 2 months. Definitely every week I was working like almost exactly 20 hours a week. It might look like a lot to the untrained eye, but for me experiencing, it's perfect. 20 hours a week has always been perfect, and it organically turned into that because I would work after my kids were at school, and then when I would pick them up. It just organically turned to 20 hours. During the day, for sure, I took time off to get groceries. Now I play pickleball. So Saturdays, weekends, I would just kind of just decide on the hours you're going to work with and commit yourself to them and see how that goes. Decide on a simple marketing plan. I got my 4x1 I offer. It's designed to be executed in at the most, like 1 hour a day, and just slip in those slots during those hours. And you get to decide on your niche statement. And that is going to make it so you don't have to overthink too many decisions. What is going to adhere to your niche statement today? And let's do that during our work hours. So you just decide that you're going to work part-time hours, and you're going to decide that you are going to make full-time income. And how you do that is you create a signature offer. This one that echoes your niche statement. A signature offer is what I like to call the big kahuna way to work with you. So my niche statement, I help moms who are coaches who are struggling with starting or growing their coaching business so they can make more money, right? So that is my private niche statement close to my heart. You come up with your niche statement, then you make an offer that basically is your niche statement. So my big kahuna offer is working with me privately. You can work with me privately for 6 months, and that is $5,000. Of course, you can work longer, you can work shorter, but my main signature offer is 6 months. It's the one I'm like, this is perfect. So with your signature offer, I encourage you to price it out 3 months long, at least $1,000 to start. And this is what you own, you love, and every day you're selling it in one way or another. And this is also what makes up the beauty of the 4x1 approach. You then create an offer suite that is comprised of free offers, lower ticket item offers, just different offers. And eventually it leads up to this opportunity. So again, my beer date yesterday with my one friend in town who's really, really into digital marketing too. So I love meeting with her because we get caught up. And I told her about my my membership. It's a $5 a month membership. So she was asking me what's new. And she's like, how's that going for you? Because immediately I could tell in her eyes that she was like, you kind of have to have like, again, Oprah here type following in order for that to be lucrative, right? But I told her it is so lucrative because people for $5, it's a no-brainer way to invest and work with me. You kind of get that exchange. And then they see that I know my stuff, and I have signed on private clients through that investment. So it's super lucrative. It builds that trust. People see that I am for sure dedicated to this niche statement, and everything I do is in that realm, and they trust me enough to go for my big kahuna offer. So yeah, an offer suite that leads up. So that's why I say $1,500 a month. You sell one signature offer, and then all these little offer suites, you can get creative here, or maybe 1 month you sell 2 coaching offers, 2 signature offers, and then the month after that, none. So it averages out about $1,500 from the get-go. But you intentionally create a journey of people who fit your niche statement, come into your world, and you immediately start offering free, low ticket, priced value until eventually they are ready to join you with the creme de la creme, where they really start getting results. Okay. And then finally, during your work hours, you work. During your off hours, you are either this or a combination, working your regular job, perhaps being with your little munchkins, but whatever you're doing, you just love what you're doing and stay in the present moment. So when I'm working, I'm not thinking, or I try not to I try my best to stay in work mode. When I'm not working, I try my best not to be in the back of my mind, like fretting, worrying, planning. Just be in the present moment and know that when you come back to your desk, however you're filling up your bucket or being present with what else you get involved into the day, it's going to inspire your work, right? Like even the pickleball thing, I don't think about it, but when I'm playing pickleball, I'm like, ooh, this is kind of like my business. And then, okay, I go back, right? If not, you'll get like a pickleball in the face. You have to be very careful. So I come back to work, and then all these analogies when I'm feeling like, oh my God, this is all happening too quick. I'm like, no, this is just like in pickleball. Time is just a constant, man. The ball's coming at me slower than it looks. So I know it's kind of weird, but so the way that you can work part-time hours is to make the most of that time and be fully present and fully focused on what you're doing, and use that same attitude outside of your work hours. So if you are ready to start a mom coaching business that can one day replace your day job salary, I want you to put a 1 in the chat box now. Don't be shy. It's the best. Do it. Okay. And this is my angel. This is literally the first thing I see each morning, either him or his little brother, Wilbur. Yes, they sleep in bed with us. And I have to say, it's my favorite thing on the planet. But anyways, so imagine waking up to this, but also knowing you get to do what your soul is craving. And if you're watching this, I bet your soul is craving to offer coaching services and helping others reach their goals. So if that idea of $1,500 a month working part-time and thinking of how that is going to make a difference to your family's bottom line and in their lives, and knowing that you're showing your kids, like, I'm doing this. I have been super transparent with my kiddos since they were babies. They can pick up on your excitement. And when they were old enough to comprehend, I'm like, mom's helping other moms right now. They get it. And I think it inspires them. And it really, if mom is happy, everyone's happy. So there's so many layers to us showing our kids the importance of going for your dreams. So you have two choices. You can either take in what I shared today and be like, okay, that totally makes sense, and be like, okay, I got to hear, I can totally figure this out on my own. Or I would love to show you how to do this step by step and ease you into this dream on part-time hours and having this coaching business that is literally going to grow alongside your kids. It's so cool. So Mom Coach School is open, but just for a small window this time round. What you get, it's 3 months of coaching lessons sent out to you weekly. And we convene in a private Facebook group. We also get 3 monthly training calls. And at the end, you get certified as a Mom Coach School coach. And the doors are open only until Monday night at 8 o'clock. And I'm talking this Monday, August 14th. So this was intentionally created for you to learn how to be confident as a coach, because you're going to learn the tools and the approach. And I call it like training wheels. You get step by step. This is what you do in call 1, what you do in call 2, and all the ones in between until the final call. And the tools that I've created are from my own trainings as a creativity coach and as my simplicity parenting background, and merging classic coaching tools to ones that very sensitive spirits respond beautifully. It's very gentle, very feminine, and very fun for everyone to be reaching their goals in baby steps and creative ways. The curriculum itself it's dripped out to you 1 lesson a week for 12 weeks, but there's no pressure for you to do it on that schedule. You can learn at your own pace and on your own schedule. And again, I'm all about, my training as a creativity coach is based on Kaizen, which is taking tiny baby steps towards a goal. So I'm all about keeping the overwhelm down low. So these lessons reflect the very same core philosophy here, keeping things simple. And you get support and accountability of the whole community from me, but also you get assigned a practice buddy if you should so choose, who you can practice the coaching tools with. So in module 1, you first get to experience these tools on yourself as we spend the first 4 weeks coaching you to what that foundation is of deep self-care practice, simplifying your days, getting clear on your values, and a creative expression. And then you get that literal tools, you get matched up with your practice buddy if you wish, and you set up those calls so that you're actually using the tools on each other as you're introduced. So each week for 4 weeks, you get between 2, 3, or 4 coaching tools until you're introduced to all 10 of the Mom Coach School tools. And you also, this is all module 1. So all these tools you learn on yourself, and you apply it to your coaching business. And at the same time, again, I was saying the whole mindset piece, the tools is what you're going to lean on when all those feelings and doubts are going to crop up. Like any entrepreneurial journey, it is inevitable. You're going to be feeling all the feels, but you're going to be going back to this platform, this foundation you created on practicing the tools on yourself and getting really clear on what you're going to lean on when the going gets tough. Okay, now is when you get introduced to the tools. So each week you get a handful of tools and the framework of what to do on each call. You're going to meet your assigned practice buddy, and that is who you're going to coach once a week for 4 weeks, 30 minutes you coach her, and then at the 30-minute mark, you flip roles, and then you practice the tools introduced that week. And you also get material that shows you how to facilitate in-life workshops, offline workshops, online workshops, offline workshops. So you can get the word out to your real life community, your virtual community that, hey, I offer these services now, and this is how you can get started working with me. And then on that note, you are going to find your niche so that you can implement your 4x1 plan so that you can do this in less than a day, 5 days a week if need be. And you'll know exactly what baby steps to do every day to reach your income goals. And the final lesson is work-life bliss balance so that you could continue moving forward. It's going to offer practical skills on how to spin all these plates in a really mindful way, so we can keep the essence of part-time hours, full-time income at play so you don't burn yourself out. All right, and here are some kind words from past participants. We have Jessica here, and she shares the format worked well for me with a lesson provided each week. So this made it less overwhelming for her, and she was able to complete it and stay motivated each week. She now has a 12-week coaching package to take moms from overwhelm and loneliness. And this is her niche, to empowered and excited to make connections and build friendships. I love this niche so much. So she helps moms find friends. That speaks to this mama. So I love that. I love that. So very much needed niche out in the world. And she closes this off. Mom Coach School is well worth the investment of your time and money. And she walked away with a clear plan for her coaching process, a toolbox full of tools, and an expert she can reach out to as she moves forward. She says, Kathy has great energy and she's learned a lot from the content. You're so welcome, Jessica. And here is sweet Danielle. Before the program, she was stay at home running a blog and an Etsy shop. That was my beginnings too. And she was offering resources to help healing and empowering moms. But now she has confidence to add on coaching to her offerings. And she has the process that can make a difference for future clients. And she says, I have a fun and interesting take on coaching, and it makes it really easy to stay motivated. I am a wealth of information. And she says, I'm not shy about sharing it. It's true. I share it all a lot. And she recommends me to anyone looking to get into coaching. And here, final testimonial from Danielle. She came from ground zero, and this is perfect for her at the time, who was very newbie. She learned the tools and coaching process, and this whole experience has been very comfortable, and she feels she really lucked out finding this program. And I see Danielle on Instagram rocking it. She has really just taken off running with this, and she is rocking her mom coaching business now. So it's kind of funny when you see this total value, 10,000. That might sound arbitrary, but honestly, it's not. When you consider the other routes you could take, easily life coaching training programs start at 10, 15, some very well-known ones, $20,000. And they can really be intense in terms of time commitment, and it's just full on. What I'm offering here, it's again, we cut to the chase. We get right into learning how to coach yourself and then others, and finally coaching your own business to grow. You get matched up with a buddy if you choose, and you get lifetime access to this material and the private Facebook group. You have the option to get certified as a certified mom coach school coach, and VIP upgrade gets you 3 one-on-one coaching sessions with me to use throughout the 3 months together, and Voxer coaching, which is do it, walkie-talkie with me. If you get stuck within my office hours, I will respond. So yeah, your investment though is only $997. And if you want to upgrade to VIP, that is $1497. You can either pay in full and save a little bit, or take me up on the monthly payment plan of only $97 a month for 12 months. Again, VIP, the monthly payments is $147. And again, you get those 3 one-on-ones and 3 months of Voxer support. So very amazing opportunity for you to get customized help and like planning that I am intimately aware of what your unique situation is coming into the program. But yeah, let's do this. Let's get started. What you do is head over to momcoachschool.com. Join now. You could choose which option you want to go with, regular tuition or VIP, and reach out to me if you have any questions. My door is always wide open. And if you have, questions, leave it. We are at the top of the hour. And watch the replay if need be, if you want to just go a little deeper. Otherwise, let's do this. We close the doors on Monday, the 14th, August 14th, 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And once the doors are closed, you'll see when you go to momcoachschool.com, it's going to be the waitlist again for the next round, which I'm not sure exactly when it's going to be, probably later in the fall. Kids are going back to school. Like, how cool would it be if you were to go back to school too, but not coming out of it? Like, what do I do now? You know what you're going to do. You're going to run with building a successful, lucrative, profitable, fulfilling coaching business. And you're going to know exactly what to do every day between those hours that you decided on. And you're going to be selling a kahuna, your signature coaching offer that's perfect for you. And I'll be with you every step of the way. And I cannot wait for you to see you inside the classroom, momcoachschool.com, and reach out to me if you have any questions. Thanks for watching. We'll see you inside. Bye.